First, I want to ask you, though, about the current team, the offense, the top of the order, the top of the lineup. It's 5 games, right? Shohei, Freddie, Mookie, they've had their moments. Shohei's taken really good at bats. But what Dave said really stood out to me was the guys that we have expected to hit aren't hitting as much, but the guys that kind of lower are producing. So it's kind of what you would prefer because you know those guys are going to come around, right?
100%. Listen, 5 games is nothing. We all know that. Fans know that. We know historically what Shohei Ohtani can do with the bat. Cal Tucker has been a beast at the big league level. He's really going to settle in that 2 spot. We know what Mookie, Freddie, Will Smith can do. So 5 games is nothing. They're going to settle into the lineup. I think it's the biggest key. This Dodger team, this Dodger offense specifically, they want to make sure, especially the bottom half of the lineup, 7, 8, 9 is productive. Last year, 7, 8, 9 really wasn't really productive. So hopefully this year they're off to a good start, led by Pages, hitting in that 7, 8 spot. They're focusing on making sure down the order they're productive and have good at-bats because we know the top of the lineup is going to do their thing. We know it's only a matter of time until they catch fire.
As far as the guys that have stood out, feels like Andy Pages has made an early statement. The way he took that cutter up and away, hits it to the opposite field. You're just seeing better at-bats from him. Is he the guy who kind of stands out the bottom as far as just the guys that you're hoping to take a leap this season?
Right now, he has. I thought he made great strides defensively in the second half of last year. And remember, playing your first big league season as an everyday player, it's taxing. Mentally, physically. So I thought he wore down a little mentally and he was tired. And it showed with his production with the bat. I think he's more equipped this year, knowing what he needs to do to keep his body strong and making sure that he's prepared for that 162 grind and then those extra games in the postseason in the World Series. So Pages, I expect him to have a great season. He had a great first half last year. You got to remember, he should have been an all-star. I expect him to have great 2 halves, first and second half. Defensively, he continues to get better and better, man. He's starting to become elite in center field. So it's no surprise to me and really no surprise to all of us that he's off to a pretty good start at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah, you've seen the growth from him. And I think really stood out from last night, Jerry, you got Teo, you got Muncy, guys batting in the 6th hole, the 7th hole. I asked Dave about that after the game. And he's like, hey, those are guys that'd be batting right in the middle of the lineup in most teams around this league. What can you say about just the veteran presence and the buy-in of those 2 guys and what it says really just about the culture of this team and the lineup?
First Max Muncy. I mean, he's the ultimate glue guy, culture guy. And he stated, he signed the extension. He could have held out and got more money in free agency. But he said, listen, what's the difference of a couple million? I know I want to be here. I love the culture here. We've created something special. I want to be a part of it and continue being a part of it. So for him, continue having great at-bats. And last night, having that home run, about 450 feet, tape measure shot, having that guy in the 6th spot, 7th spot at times, it's so important because he knows how to work at-bats, especially late in the game. We see Max be clutch so many times. Teoscar Hernandez, we saw him the year before last year have an incredible year with the bat. I know last season he was banged up. He had that oblique injury. I really believe that really bothered him the rest of the season. Now that he's fully healthy, I expect him to be the Teo of old, swing the bat back in left field where it's not as demanding as being that right fielder. You have 2 weapons, 6th, 7th spot, and you mentioned it, Doug. They could be hitting 3rd, 4th, or 5th in any other lineup, but with this lineup, it just makes them that much deeper. So 2 guys, veteran guys that know how to win and know how to work at bats when it counts. Teo and Max are not overlooked. I'm telling you, they're not overlooked by opposing pitching staff. They know what they can do with the bat, but certainly maybe overlooked with the star power we have in this lineup.
Yeah, and of course, Jerry, you're someone who likes showmen. You like MJ Michael Jordan. You like MJ Michael Jackson. You like Bruno Mars. I see the nice Bruno Mars artwork behind you. The greatest show in town right now is Shohei Ohtani. Pitching and hitting at an elite level. Last night, with the conditions, with the elements, it's raining out there, and he still looked really dominant. There were some walks mixed in there, 3 walks, but 6 Ks, no runs in 6 innings, gave just the 1 hit. What did you see from last night that has people believing that this is going to be the best pitching version of Shohei Ohtani this season?
Just how sharp he was last night. And listen, I'm not even going to put the 3 walks on him because, as you mentioned, the slippery conditions last night, it affected Diaz when he came out in that 9th inning. He slept, he slipped on the mound 4 or 5 times. I know it affected the Guardians pitcher as well. Guys in the batter's box. It's very rare to see. I can't remember having rain come down at Dodger Stadium. It almost never happens. But for Shohei Ohtani to be that sharp in his first outing, it shouldn't surprise us, man. I mean, this guy makes sure he's prepared, whether it's on the pitching side, make sure he's prepared at the plate. It's not always going to work out because it's the game of baseball, but it ain't because of lack of preparation. This guy makes sure he's prepared, and I just love his new delivery. Now, he showed us that last year, but I think he's perfecting it now heading into this year. It's a really slow, methodical delivery. He's got great rhythm and tempo. And I'm telling you, that is harder for hitters because I like that kind of a, come at you, here it is right here as a hitter. When you have that slow, methodical delivery, sometimes you could pause, mix speeds on his pitches, have 7 or 8 different variety on all his pitches. It's difficult to hit, man. And it just goes to show that he's really starting to perfect that pitching side. And I expect him to be elite as a start of the season.
Yeah, you see he's got that little tilt, it feels like, where the shoulder kind of stays back, and then with the legs, he's just powering through towards the plate. But do you kind of get a big picture here on Shohei Ohtani? I think one thing I always love is if you're in the clubhouse, they don't call him Show as much. They just call him Goat. Like his teammates are, hey, Goat, there you go. Like, that's got to be the best nickname you could get, right? Your teammates call you the greatest of all time.
I think. Well, I mean,
is he already the greatest of all time?
I'm going to say yes. I think the game that kind of put him over the top for me, listen, there's so many great players that have played. No disrespect to Josh Gibson back in the day, Satchel Paige, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays. The game that he had in the playoffs, NLCS, to close out the Milwaukee Brewers, 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. Oh, by the way, 3 tape measure shots. That to me did it. I mean, remember, there's stuff in other sports, they talk about longevity. I'm not big on longevity. It's prime. At your best, what do you look like? What do you look like at your best? In the moments, what do you look like? In the moment, close out the NLCS, pitching dominance, hitting dominance, and what he's done so far, to me, he's the best player I've ever seen. I mean, listen, I told John Hartung yesterday before the pregame show, sometimes I run into players all the time. I'm in Alex's office. Guys talk to me all the time, but I never go in the clubhouse. That's their space. I don't go in the clubhouse. So I usually go through this tunnel to head to the set. And I just so happen to run into Shohei Ohtani, which I run into Shohei all the time. And I always say, "What's up, Show?" Hey, what's up? It's always cool. I know it's his game day pitching. I didn't say a word to him. Kind of looked at him, kind of looked at me. I mean, he was so focused, kind of like Kershak's. I absolutely loved it. I go on set, shows dominate tonight. He is locked in, dominate, because usually he's always happy-go-lucky. He knew, like, hey, I'm not really feeling great at the plate right now. If I'm not getting any hits, guess what? They're not going to get any hits tonight. I'm going to shut them down. So I just love the fact that he had that laser-like focus, heading into last night's start. And you love that as an athlete.
That start day Shohei energy, that's just on another level. By the way, you got it like that, by the way. Shohei says what's up to Jay Harry's got to, say what's up to his guy. I love that. And you mentioned that game in the NLCS. It's the fact that when you say the Shohei game, you can bring up a couple games. Like you can talk about the 50-50, the 6-for-6. You can talk about that. And the only way someone's going to do it again is if he does it. I mean, that's, I think, a marker there. Now, as far as Shohei this season, is he your Cy Young, or do you have Yamamoto? Is it Skeens? Do you want to make a pick?
I'll make a pick. Listen, right now, I've always been a believer. I'm hoping Yamamoto wins it this year, but you got to knock out the champ. You got to knock out the champ. So from the Cy Young side, Paul Skeens is that dude, is that champ. So I think Yamamoto makes a run this year, and I think he gets him. Now, I picked Yamamoto at the start of the season. I'm going to stick with my pick. I would love to see Yamamoto and Show battle it out the whole season long and battle out at the very end, and whoever those two wins, awesome. But right now, Paul Skeens is the champ. You got to knock him out. He's the favorite, rightfully so. But my pick is Yamamoto. I'm going to stick with that pick.
Hey, he wants to win it too. I love how the consolation prize for Shohei is probably going to be a 5th MVP, a unanimous MVP. Just kind of tells you where he's at.